Azure data warehouse, and in this session also we are going to continue with Azure data lake and Azure data factory discussion. Based on the needs, we are going to continue with like SQL server, how to load the data from SQL server, and then after SSAS development discussion we are going to start based on the time. Today I will take only 1 hour session. So okay, fine. So in last session we created a. I said you can create a Azure subscription. I'll share the document today, and once you create Azure subscription, you can initially you need to create a Azure resource group. Even if you are unable to create a resource group, at the time of creating a data warehouse, you can directly start with Azure data warehouse. At the time of creating a data warehouse, it will ask you to create a resource group, and then after it will ask you to create a server, and then after it will be created automatically the server and resource group created at the time of creating a data warehouse itself. Once you create a data warehouse, I showcased how to write a query from portal itself. So you understood about data explorer. Data explorer is nothing but, so if you want to write a query, if you want to work with the data warehouse from anywhere, you can use the data explorer. Open in Power BI is nothing but, in your Power BI service, if you want to connect to this Azure data warehouse, you can click on open in a Power BI so that it will redirect you to the Power BI service. And open in Visual Studio. Open in Visual Studio is nothing but, if you want to open this code as part of Visual Studio, you can open it. Why Visual Studio? As I said yesterday, for a reusable queries, you are going to store your data as part of TFS, as part of any physical drive, with the help of a Visual Studio solution. So if you want to open that code and if you want to write something you want to execute later at that time, or you want to open the scripts at that time, we are going to use Visual Studio. The monitoring and the scale, all these are DBA related activities we don't require. And load data. Load data is nothing but, if you wanted to load the data into Azure data warehouse, if it is a manual, like if it is a normal query, you can write a query through Data Explorer. But I have the data in another CSV file, or another Oracle database, or another SQL Server database. At that time, how you are going to do that load operation? For that, you have a load data option is there. So data load option, whenever you click on it, it is going to showcase two options. One is Azure Data Factory, and the second one is a Data Platform Studio. We are going to use Azure Data Factory to load the data from any other sources to any other destinations over here. Not only data warehouse, any source to any destination. Before explaining this, it is a ETL tool kind of a functionality, but in your ETL tool you are going to have a transformations. But in Azure Data Factory, with the help of Azure Data Factory, you can move the data. Along with that, you can add the transformation, but you can move the data here. In order to move the data, in order to use Azure Data Factory, first I need to have one source file. Then after I will load that data with the help of Data Factory to somewhere. So now there is a concept called Azure Data Lake. Azure Data Lake. So Azure Data Lake, whenever you click on a new, that storage, you are able to see Azure Data Lake Store. Azure Data Lake Store so here Azure Data Lake Store is nothing but, it's a cloud based storage location for a unstructured data. So for a structured data, you have structured or relational data, you have Azure SQL is there, Azure Data Warehouse is there. One second. Okay. So for structured or relational data, we have Azure SQL is there, Azure SQL Data Warehouse is there. But if you have a unstructured data, if you are having a non-relational data, where you will store? For that again, I cannot come for a on-premise environment, right? So for that, we have data lake storage there. Data lake store is nothing but cloud-based storage for non-relational databases, which is nothing but a files you can consider, log files or files, whatever. So data lake store is like that icon itself showcasing. Whenever you are selecting a data lake store, it's a file it is showcasing. If you click on learn more, Azure Data Lake Store is designed to enterprise-wide hyperscale repository of big data analytic workloads. In a data lake, you can easily capture data of any size and type speed in a single place of purpose of operational exploratory things. Whatever, the simple concept is, it is going to store huge volumes of a files or even lighter volumes of a files also. You can store it. It's kind of a cloud-based folder. However, you are using a OneDrive or a Google Drive, it is also another drive. So now data lake store, and you can create a data lake store there. So let me try to create. If I have the access, I can create. And the subscription and the resource group, as I said, you wanted to add this resource group to add this resource, whatever the test DB Azure Data Lake to your existing resource group, and click on create. If I have permission, that will be created. Let it create. It was created, and now in order to, so we have one storage. So we have one storage is available on a cloud, which we just now created. Now here we need to have one source file from where you are going to push the data into the data warehouse. I am preparing some CSV file. I save it as a data.csv. Now go to that resource, which is nothing but a data lake store. I'm saying that there you can store the data. So this is the data lake store that I created. There, what you need to see is Data Explorer. So Data Explorer, here you need to upload the file. You need to upload the file, or you can create a folder and you can upload the file. So I am directly uploading a file, like a file here, or I can create a folder like input, that input files. So, and as part of that, I am uploading a file. I'm browsing from my desktop and I'm adding that selected file. Then after now whatever the file that I created, which is available in Azure Data Lake Store. Azure Data Lake Store is a cloud-based storage for a non-relational database, which is nothing but a cloud folder that we created. Under that, we created one folder called input. Under that, I uploaded this file. So you have one source file is available with you. Destination is your SQL Server data warehouse. Now go to your dashboard again, and here on a data warehouse, now you have a load data option is there. Load data, Azure Data Factory. Azure Data Factory, as I said, it is kind of a cloud based ETL tool With the help of that, you can move the data from one source to another destination. So it is saying Microsoft Azure Data Factory is a cloud-based data integration service that automates the movement and transformation data. Data movement pricing details can be found here. Like pricing and all those things ignore. So it is saying that bus it's a online ETL tool which you can perform scheduling also. So and for me, as I have one data factory is already created, I can directly use that one. But for you people, in order to practice that one, what you need to do is you need to create one Azure data factory. So for that, I am going and creating on another environment where I have some access there to create. How to create, I am going to showcase. So click on a new and data factory. So data factory, whatever we saw there, everything is defined here. You can perform ETL operations. Now click on create. Whenever you set create, you need to provide the name. I think the name is already there. And what is the subscription from where you want to get, like from where you want to pay the money, and then after create a resource group or use the resource group. So use existing one. Then after there are two different versions are there, v1 and v2. V2 is in a preview mode and it don't have all the capabilities. So you select v1. Whenever you select v1, click on create. So now you are creating a component called data factory that will help you to load the data from any source to any destination to move the data. Along with that, it will help you to schedule the data movement. Along with that, it will help you to do some transformations after loading. Let it create. It was created. Go to the resource. Now you are able to see that other and deploy, copy data, monitor metrics and operations, diagrams, sample pipelines, and everything. So here job is nothing but a pipeline will refer. What we are going to use is we are going to use this copy data option. With the help of a copy data, we are going to move the data from one source to another destination. Click on a copy data. You came to this window. From here you are going to configure. Okay, so you are going to configure, you want to schedule, you want to execute only one time or you want to schedule it. If you want to schedule it, how you want to schedule? Hourly, minute, like minute based, hour based, weekly or monthly. If it is a minute, the minimum time is 15 minutes. For every 15 minutes you can schedule a job, whatever the data transfer that you want to do. Okay, so now these things we are going to I am going to explain as part of another example now. But once you are done with the data factory creation, whenever you click on a copy data, it will open this window. Here you need to configure your scheduling. Here you need to configure what is your source, what is your destination, and the authentication. And then after it is going to showcase a summary. Then after click on submit. It it will be deployed and executed. So those are the operations which are going to happen. Now I created on another environment in order to showcase what do you need to configure at the time of creating a data factory. Now I am going back to my environment. So here I already have one data factory created, test data factory. Click on copy data, copy data. Here also the same concept. Okay, so now if you want to schedule it, or if you want to give your own name, you can give the name there, and you can schedule it. You can provide from when to when you want to schedule. Once you are done, click on next. Here you need to specify what is your source. You need to specify what is your source. So these are all the sources which data factory is supporting: the Teradata, Sybase, SQL Server, SAP HANA, SFTP, the Postgres, Oracle, OData, MongoDB, MySQL, all these things. At this point of time, I said we have a data as part of Azure Data Lake Store. We load a on text file in a cloud, right? So our source is Azure Data Lake Store. Understand from here very clearly. I will ask some people to work on-premise SQL Server 2, on-premise SQL Server 2, Azure Data Warehouse, load through ADF. By using SSIS, I can do it. But I will ask the people, I will give a requirement. So based on your domains, based on your background, I will ask some people to document, load the data from one source to that Azure Data Warehouse through ADF, not SSIS. SSIS we can do it like within a 2 or 3 minutes of time. So understand very clearly. So I selected Azure Data Lake Store as my source. Then after click on next. In that source, I did not to use that source. What is the subscription that you have? What is the subscription that you have? And what is the Azure Data Lake Store account? TestDB, I think so we created now. And authentication, everything is fine, like OAuth authentication. Click on next. And here, as part of that path, whatever I provided, whatever that Azure Data Lake Store that I selected, we have only one folder is there. Under that, we have one file is there, CSV. Click on that one and click on next. You are able to see that there are two records which are there as part of that file. So by default it was identified. What is the delimiter? What is the row delimiter? It was identified. If you have any custom delimiter, or if it is not identified, you can select what is the, you can specify what is the column delimiter, what is the row delimiter. If you have any custom delimiter, so you can specify. And as I don't have the row names, by default it was came with prop 0, prop 1. If you have the column names, you can mention, or by default it will come. So it is a source. Click on next. So source configuration was done. You said that boss, I need to load the data from like Azure Data Lake Store, and I have my file is available under input. It is a comma separator file. You specified everything. What is the destination? The destination can be any of these. Okay, or if you want to load the data into another file or in Azure Data Warehouse, anything. We created Azure Data Warehouse. Or if you want to move it into another data lake, you can. Okay, so if you want to configure another data lake, you can, but my intention is to load the data in Azure Data Warehouse. Click on next, and then after, in order to connect to the data warehouse, again what is the subscription, and this is the server name, this is the database name. Like there are many databases are there. What is the specific database and username password for that server. Once you are done with that, it is going to showcase you the list of tables that you have on that database. Why it is employee 1? So yesterday it's employee, right? And the database name also, I think Power BI ADW demo, I think. And you click on next, and you have a lot of tables from AdventureWorks. So you can see the list of tables that are loaded yesterday. An employee table is the one where I want to load. So employee table. So we are specifying the mapping there. So the first column I want to load in employee ID, second column I want to load in employee name. Click on next, and as part of a data process, how you wanted to take that data process. You want to have any staging kind of a thing or not, we are going to configure here. You don't need to worry at all. Okay, so on a runtime, if you want any storage, you need to store the data on a runtime, so you don't require anything. And it is showcasing that bus, what is the source, what is the destination, and everything was specified over here. You need to run it. Before run it, you need to authenticate it. So I authenticated and click on next. So whatever you developed, that is getting deployed into the POS, like platform as a service. What we are going to get as part of this activity is we have one CSV file which is loaded as part of Azure Data Lake Store, and we are moving that file into Azure Data Warehouse. That is what the output that we need to get. And as part of that, how to configure a data factory we observed. Yes, meanwhile connect to that machine. you can see that you can see that the 30 and 40 were inserted here. We done through ADF. So online data transfer, if you want to make it, it's not online data transfer. It's a online online tool. ADF is online tool. With the help of that, if you want to do any transformation, it's not transformation. If you wanted to do a data movement, you can do it by configuring what is your source, what is your destination, and the mapping. Automatically, it will take care of data transfer. So, one second. Fine, that is fine. That is how you can do a data transfer. You need to select a copy data, and then after you need to configure your source and destination. Or if you need to load the data in a data warehouse, go to the data warehouse directly and mention that load data. And a load data, you have AZURE data factory option is there. So on that AZURE data factory, whenever you click on it, we are saying that exclusively we wanted to load on the data like AZURE data warehouse. It is asking you what ADF that you want to use, and then after you need to specify the scheduling, and you need to specify the data source. Next, we're not going to use service, and data lake input for CSV file. Next, next, and here it is directly saying that what is the database, what is the server. Why? Because you said that on a data warehouse you said that data load, that which means destination is already selected, so automatically you are getting those things. You just need to specify that credentials to connect to that data warehouse. On the other window, you observe that you selected what is the destination, but here it was directly selected, except that everything is same. So this is how you are going to configure your ADF job. It might be one time, it might be multiple times. You are going to configure ADF with the help of like this. So this is what ADF is, Azure Data Factory. To move the data from one source to another destination, we are going to use ADF. Like creation of ADF, you don't have much complexity. You just need to provide the name and select the component, and then after that will help you. Whenever you click on a copy data, you can configure that one. Azure Data Lake is nothing but it's a cloud-based storage. It is nothing but it's kind of your Google Drive or a OneDrive where you are going to place your files there. And Azure Data Warehouse, it's a cloud-based relational data warehouse where you can create a tables, create a procedures, create a views. You can do all your SQL operations from anywhere. These are the three components. You can say that you know those things, and up to here practice it. First create a resource group, then after create one Azure Data Lake store and place some files there. Then after create one Azure Data Warehouse, create some tables there. Then after move your data from data lake to data warehouse. After practicing this, you can mention that you are aware or you worked with Azure Data Warehouse. What else they will ask you as part of Azure Data Warehouse? You know how to create a server, you know how to create a database, you know how to work from a cloud. Remaining thing if they ask, they will ask SQL only. What is update statement in Azure Data Warehouse? That is nothing but normal update only. Okay, they will not ask anything. So that keywords will help you to shortlist your profiles. That is Azure Data Warehouse, Data Lake, Data Factory introduction. Before making a next statement, anyone has any questions up to here?
Uh, yeah, Srinivas, Srijit.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we can use any number of sources, right? Like, I mean, is there any limitation for any sources that we can't use for this?
You are able to see that what are the sources that we can connect, right, as part of source. So
Yeah,
here
yeah.
these are the sources that we can connect. If you have some source which
Okay,
is not there, you need to get the data into these sources. For now, Azure is
okay,
supporting these sources.
okay.
Yeah.
Fine. Thank you.
Srinivas, this is Arpit.
I please go ahead.
What about the transformations in ADF?
ADF will support only copy data, but you, you can do a transformation with the help of a stored procedure. That is what I'm going to tell you. But I'm not going to explain. But I'm going to give an assignment. But ADF will do only copy data. So that's why it is
Okay.
showing the copy data operation. So previously we have a ETL concept is there. Then after ELT concept is there. So load and transform.
Mm-hmm.
Previously extract, transform and load all are ETL. Then after ELT extract, load and transform. And then after let process is there. Load, extract, transform. Load, extract,
Mm-hmm.
transform is nothing but ADL. You are going to load in a Azure Data Lake.
Mm-hmm.
From there you are extract. Then after you are going to do transformation. So let's ADF is nothing but ELT. Like extract, load and transform. After loading we are going to do transformation.
So there is some other tool which does the transformation.
So if there is kind of a plugin is there, you are going to add that one to this ADF.
Okay, okay. Yeah, thank
So
you.
yeah. Anyone has any questions? Bala Murali, go ahead. Murali is speaking something. Now I can. See, file system is nothing but like on-premise environment. On-premise, like if you have that, like let's assume on your machine you have that files. At that time you need to select a file system. If the file is in a cloud location, that is nothing but this one, Azure Data Lake. Yeah. Yeah. Final call. Anyone has any question? Krishna there?
Yes, Srinivas.
Fine, sir.
Yeah, yeah, fine, very much.
you, you are going to get a task. That's why I'm asking.
Sorry?
You are going to get a task. That's why I'm asking.
Okay, sir, I'm happy to do.
Yeah. So here you are able to see the transform data. Okay. So as part of a transform data, you can transform the data with these activities. These kind of a tasks in ADF. Okay. So HT insert, the pig activity, map reduce activity, streaming activities, spark activity, machine learning activities, stored procedure activity, and USQL activity and .NET custom code. So now, if you want to do some transformations, you must do with the help of a stored procedure. You can use the SQL stored procedure activity in a data factory pipeline to invoke a stored procedure in one of the following data sources. Invoke a stored procedure in one of the data stores called AZURE SQL database, data warehouse, or normal SQL database in an enterprise or Azure VM. Okay, stored procedure activity article, like how to configure a stored stored procedure, that is available over here. Okay, so whatever the transformation that you want to do, you need to write the relevant code in a stored procedure, and then after you need to call that stored procedure. Then after you can make the transformation. You can return another table, like from stored procedure you can return a table also. So you can write all the transformations whatever you want in a stored procedure, and you can do there. So here there are many activities are there. Under that, stored procedure is one of the activity. Now I will tell you that task later. So for now, yes, some people asked, yes, we have the transformations, but the transformation is not part of ADF job, but you can associate that one to the ADF job. Like once the data transfer is done, I want to do some transformation, or once like ADF, like I'm going to create a job with ADF which is going to move the data. Once the data movement is done, I need to execute some procedure. Okay, so where the data will be moved? The data will be moved in a data warehouse. Once the data is moved in a Azure data warehouse, then after anyway the data is there only, I'm going to pick the table and I'm going to do a transformation, and I'm going to load the data in another table if required. So all the transformations will be done after your data load is performed. But on the other ETL tools, like nowadays every reporting tool support these things, but the previous concepts are you need to transform before loading the data, but here after loading we are transforming the data. So as the data will be always at your data warehouse, and on top of it you are writing a procedure. Why you are writing a procedure is in order to call the procedure, in order to schedule that one. For every data movement I need to execute that query. So that's why we are writing a procedure and we are calling that procedure. That's it. We have that one. We'll try to shape with a proper scenario very soon. Okay, I will give you some tasks, or like as many people are there, so we'll try to combine all the tasks together so that you can say that you are expert in ADF. For now, you can say that you know ADF, how to create ADF, how to use the ADF. That is more than sufficient. Even today, there are many companies who don't know about term called ADF. Okay, so they are asking that if you know ADF, we will give a job. So we'll understand. I will give some tasks to the people, like through a mail or at the end of this session. We'll work on that one. That will help you to shape, like to showcase that you are ADF expert, ADF thing. Anyway, they also don't know to ask something, but this is one of the very important thing. Fine. So that is what ADF, ADL, and Azure Data Warehouse. Any questions? Final call. Krishnaveni. Okay, fine. I already got. Okay, fine. So now that is what Azure Data Factory, Azure Data Lake, and Azure Data Warehouse. Fine. So let me write some tasks. Okay, so listen that Azure Data Warehouse, this will be fine. That every MSP developer knows regarding this one. How to develop a product in Visual Studio and how to deploy in their respective servers. Okay, so now we need to deploy that your procedures used in Azure Data Warehouse. That will be handled by any one of that MSP developer that we have. And the next one is before writing some task under ADF or ADL. So you know that ADL is one of the stories. We have another ADL or whatever. So if you have ADL, there you are going to place the files, right? There you are going to place the files. Sometimes you need to extract the data or you need to tune the data from that file. Sometimes, so like whatever the data which is generating through IoTs or event hubs, you are going to get a lot of unnecessary data you will get as part of a event log file, which I don't require at all. I want to tune the data before loading my data in a data warehouse. If you wanted to read the data or if you wanted to tune the data on a file, we have one language called USQL, Unified SQL. USQL. Okay. What is the use of that one is if you wanted to transform or if you wanted to, if
Can
you
you
want,
repeat, Srinivas, can you repeat last statement? It was breaking something.
1 second. So like ADL, I said that it's Azure Data Lake Store. It's a cloud-based storage, and as you observed some definition that it's a big data storage. It is going to have a huge amount of data where it is going to have like frequently going to change the data or frequently data loads are coming there. We are going to save in a one place called Azure Data Lake Store. There generally you can consider one of the use cases there IoT hubs where which is going are sensors which is going to read the data in a live environment and push the data for every 1 minute or for every 2 minutes, and every day you are going to get a GBs of data as part of a log file. But that complete file we may not push into our ADW, right? It is going to give lot of unnecessary things. But I want to tune the data. I want to do some aggregations. So at that time, on a file, instead of moving the data, so Azure Data Warehouse is not for a free. Okay, if you are doing the same replications everywhere with the help with the name called staging or something, that is going to mess up. Like that is going to cost a lot. So if you wanted to tune your text files, which is available under ADL, you have a language called USQL, Unified SQL. That Unified SQL is a combination of C Sharp and TSQL. So SQL server, whatever the SQL is there, that SQL. It's a combination of those both, and you can write a query, and you can read the file, and you can do a transformations. You can write a group by joins, unions, where conditions, having bias, order bias, everything like SQL. You can read the file from data lake with the help of that SQL, and you can filter your data according to your requirement, and you are going to push the data into your data warehouse. Okay, so now Now here, as part of a stored procedure task, understand very clearly. I showed here stored procedure task. You have a USQL task also there. What do you mean by USQL task? USQL task is nothing but your source is a data lake, your destination is a data lake, or you have a data lake, data is there. You wanted to execute one query which is going to transform or tune the data and reduce your data into another subset, and which might store as part of another database table or another data lake storage location. I specified input folder, right? I have another file called processed, or I have another folder called output. What I am going to do is I am going to run one USQL query frequently, which is going to read my input file, tune it or aggregate it, then after push it in another data lake. From there, I am going to load in a Azure data warehouse. So this script also need to run automatically frequently, no? So for that purpose, you have a ADL activity is there. Now, what you people need to understand is if someone wanted to showcase more or explore more, in order to read the data from ADL, in order to on a big data storage, like on a files, if you wanted to read the data, if you want to tune the data, you have a language called ESQL. That ESQL tutorials are there, ESQL links are there, where it contain all SQL code only, SQL syntax only. Just go and practice there and mention that you know ADL, you know ESQL. So just to practice, like it's very easy. You can highlight that one, that you know ESQL. And why it is USQL is there is nothing but the people from SQL and MSB background, they don't know Python and R, right? Generally not to read the files, people will use the Java or .NET or VB script or a JavaScript or a Python R, but we don't know that one, right? So in order to make the developers comfortable, they given a USQL language which is almost equivalent to SQL only, but we have some additional functions are there, additional syntax is there. With that, you are in a position to read your file and process your data, and you can post the data in another data lake or another table. If someone wanted to explore the part called ESQL, create one data lake, keep one file there, then after write a USQL query and execute it and schedule it, then you can say that I know everything in ADL. That is what ADL contains. ADL contains only storage, another one is USQL. Understand the USQL concept and tell that I know everything in ADL. That's it. Someone is going to push the data, you are going to write a query and you are going to schedule that query. So that is the one. And now understand, Azure data lake storage is nothing but a normal folder where you can have a file, where you can have a source. It is not source, your destination also, whatever, it is a file, that's it. Azure data lake storage is a folder which contains your files. That might be input file or output file or something error file, whatever. And Azure data lake analytics is a concept which will allow you to run USQL code. Azure data lake analytics, it will allow you to create a job to run, or it will provide an environment to work with USQL code. Okay, so these are the two concepts that you use to see. Whenever you select a Azure data lake analytics, you must select Azure data lake storage also. But whenever you select Azure data lake store, you don't need to select Azure data lake analytics. And overall, I am summarizing. Azure data lake storage is nothing but a cloud-based folder where you can keep a file. It does not mean you are keeping a file as part of enterprise organization level. your upstream is going to send the file there, okay, through IoTs or through other processes. They are going to send, they are going to release the file there, and that file we can process with the help of a USQL. As by default, normal SQL cannot read the file, right? So you can, with the help of a USQL, you can read the file, you can transform it, and you can process it in another folder of ADL. From there, you can able to load the data in a ADW. So Azure Data Lake Storage is a folder. Azure Data Lake Analytics is having the capacity to run your USQL code. That's it. And if you wanted to run this USQL code frequently, you wanted to schedule it, you have ADF is there, which will allow you to run your USQL code frequently. As I said, for every 15 minutes you can run it. So that is what this one. What is USQL activity and how to configure it? You are going to see it. Okay, so that is fine. These are the terminologies which are available under ADL. If you understood here these things, how to create ADL analytics, like at the time of creating itself, it will allow you to create a Azure Data Lake Storage also. Then after, how to execute USQL script and what is USQL, and then after, how to automate USQL script. If you know these 4 things, you can say that you are an expert on ADL. That's it. Someone is going to send the data to your file. What you can do is, you can move the data to another place blindly, or with the help of SQL, you can tune it. And whatever the tuning that you have done, that need to be a frequent run rate. So you are going to configure that one with the help of ADF. You are going to rerun it. More than that, nothing is there. So if someone wanted to explore personal, what is USQL and how to run that USQL, like if you create this one, the first point, automatically it will showcase you where to run and how to automate the USQL script. So if you know that one, you can say that I know ADL. So ADL is very, it's like at the time of discussion, it might seems to key, it's a folder, but in a live environment, it is one of the very important thing. Okay, so it is used to work with a big data. It is how the Python and R is important. ESQL is that much important. So that is a very, it is going to provide a value add to your profiles. So as part of ADF, you just need to, like as part of ADW, you need to understand how to create a project in Visual Studio and how to deploy it in ADW. And ADL, you need to understand this one. And ADF, I already showcased, like data movement, data copy I showcased. But what is the terminology? So in your SSIS, we used to call it as a job. We used to call it as a step. In ADF, what you are going to call? What is a pipeline? And all those things you need to understand. Then after, the data movement can be fine. And how to schedule it, that is also fine. What is the terminology? And then after, how to run ESQL or a procedure with ADF, you need to understand. And do one POC kind of a thing, like keep the data in on-premise SQL server, and which is nothing but a transactional data. You can mention transactional data and load the data into ADW with ADF. Then after, After loading that, call a procedure which is in ADW with the help of ADF after data movement. So if you do this one, the same concept for Oracle, the same concept for MySQL, on-premise to the cloud-based storage, you are moving it, and then after you are doing a transformation, and then after scheduling is already there. Scheduling is there at the time of creating a job itself. So if someone wanted to explore much, do all these things. Even if you don't want to explore much, you people need to do these things. I will tell you who all can take care of these things. Okay, so this one, same task I will give to two or three people. If one person unable to make it also, the other person can need to do it. It is not mean there is no relation between anyone. So please do these things. This one, Srijit or Geetan, like both of them, please take care of this one and just create a one project, that ADW project in your Visual Studio. Create one table, one view, one basic procedure, just a procedure to print something or to do something. Just to create the objects, build it, and whenever you deploy it, that need to be deployed on your ADW, and that's it. Okay, you need to build it and you need to deploy in ADW. That one, create a proper documentation step by step. Even some people who are not MSP background people, if they see it, they need to understand and they need to make the things like without looking into another place. Okay, just create a project in Visual Studio, create three objects, a table, view, and a procedure. Basic things, no need to create some extra things. Even one column, two columns are fine. Build it, and whenever I wanted to deploy, that need to deploy in ADW. That's it. That is more than sufficient. Okay, then after post deployment script or ETL script, which something is going to make sense over here, just take care of that one. And I don't want to focus much on ADL. That is up to you people how you want to proceed. But I can give a task too. I can give only one task. That is nothing but how to automate USQL script. That I'll give to Krishna. So on the other hand, in order to do this one, they need to know what is USQL. In order to know that one, they need to know how to create this one. So all like once you have the Azure subscription, these are nothing, Krishna. So take your own time, and at the end of the time, you just need to understand what is USQL, why you are using that one, how to automate whatever the script that you are using, how to automate with that, how to automate that script with the help of ADF. So whoever want, you can work on it. I'm providing for Krishna, and I know that many of the people are not MSBA background and non BI related background. That's why I'm not touching anyone. And here the terminology with respect to SSIS or ADF. Here we are not going to call it as a job. We are not going to call it as a step. So there is a different terminology there as part of ADF configuration. So that one, and how to run USQL or procedure with ADF. Gator and Krishnaveni I am giving, and the same thing, those two things I am giving, and that POC, whatever I said, you can work with different databases. For now, most of the companies will have either Oracle or SQL Server, right? So, other than that, if you have some data in ADL, Krishna is already doing like how to automate that ADL data movement. So, no need to worry at all. So, we need to do this same POC with the help of two things, or I can call it as one thing, SQL Server. So, Sridevi is there to take care, and I repeat that stuff. Balamurli, Brahma, Deepti, Venkatram. Hari, Krishna, Krishnavani, Manasa, Sheikh, Shiv Prasad. So, I given some names over here. Please practice these things. Even if you're not doing also, I don't have any issues. But practice it, document it, and share it with me. So if you feel that everything is perfect, we'll share it with other people also. Like this. Actually, this kind of activity I wanted to make in my last batch. At the time, I was unable to make it. But so these things, if you explore, if you are comfortable with ADF, data transfer, and transformation, and automation, you can go and say that you can work on ADF anything. Okay. What an ETL tool will have? One is data load, next one transformation, third one is scheduling, and fourth one is a terminology, which will make you which will make you comfortable that you can do anything on that one. So I hope I covered everything. Some places the same thing is repeated, but anyways, please take care of this one. I am not having any urgency. Next 3 or 4 days of time, we have a 3 days continuous holidays are there. On that time, complete that one by that time. If you are expecting something else from me other than a course, so please take care of this one and let me know if you are facing any issues or if you are stuck with somewhere so that I can help you people. Okay? Any questions on it? Whatever I said. If you do you people require any clarity on this? Getan, go ahead.
Yeah, Srinivas. Actually, the first one. Can you show me the first one? How to create the project in Visual Studio and employee in
So Getan added
IDW.
2 places. Oh yeah. Hmm. Yes.
Like we have to create the project in Visual Studio.
You need to create a
From...
project in a Visual Studio, like how you used to create your SSIS project or SSIS
Okay.
project. Even
Okay.
you know that we have database projects will be there. So
Mm-hmm.
like that is a basic, like that is a small thing only. Like you need to create one ADW project and you need to connect to
Okay.
the ADW server. And
Mm-hmm.
once you create a project, create one or two objects and build it and deploy it. So people need to
Okay.
understand that if they want to create something, so we can create from a Visual Studio and we are going to deploy an ADW. That's it.
Oh, okay. Cool. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I missed
Yeah,
one.
Srinivas, can you add me in this drive?
Yeah, I will add that. I will add that one.
Oh, okay,
And
sure.
I will add all the people who are not there.
Sure.
Srinivas, can you paste this text in chat
I will
or?
I will send through a mail.
Okay, sir.
Any other questions, Krishna?
Nothing, nothing.
Okay. So, like, can we take time till weekend? Yeah, we can till weekend. You can take. I will share the document. After coming from my home, that is fine. And whatever, like we have, there is no dependency. It is not mean two people together need to work. everyone, it's a separate activity. These are, please take care as a separate activity and complete it, and so that if we need to combine them or if we need to take a best of it, that will be helpful for others also. And whatever, like let's assume you are learning a Power BI, and if you are feeling that MSBI is required or something is required, so even if you learn MSBI, there are a lot of people who are doing MSBI, SQL Server, DBS, they are looking for a Power BI. The people who are learning a Power BI, they are feeling that MSBI is required. The people who are working MSBI, they are feeling that they don't require MSBI, they require Azure and Power BI. So it's kind of an POC, so you can complete it and you can say that, boss, I know ADL, I know ADF, I know ADW, I can work on anything. So that is going to help you instead of learning SSIS for 30 hours of time or SSRS for 15 hours of time. SSAS, it's no use, like there are no references also. So please complete that one, and if you have any issues, let me know, and please try to complete that one by, like, so many of the tasks can be completed very easily, but take till Monday or a Tuesday and try to complete it, so that I will share it across all the people in the same batch. That will help for all the people. Okay, so that's it regarding ADW, ADL and ADF introduction from my end, and we are going to continue with how to connect the data from SQL Server and SSAS complete development from tomorrow. I'm stopping here. We'll continue from here in the next session. I will share this document over a drive. It's a mail, means again some references will be missed, and whoever not there as part of a drive, I will add those people and I will share this document over a drive. Any questions?
Any good resources for this Azure related,
Like as especially that USQL and all those things, I will share it with you. Okay.
Thank you.
I have a couple of documents also, so I will share it with you. I will share it over a drive. So any other questions? And the people whom I didn't give anything, there are other things on a pipeline where where we need to work on some stream analytics and all those things, that I will tell in next 2 days or 3 days of time what they can work on. So that will be helpful. Instead of everyone is saying that I know Power BI, I can download the Power BI. Okay, so I can correct the data source. Instead of saying those points, so we can showcase some other points. So I will tell for other people. Already for Deepthi I said something. So for other people for other peoples also, we are going to work on a small POCs kind of a thing that will help you for a value add aspect of your profiles. That's it from my end. If you have any questions, you can go ahead. Otherwise, have a good day all. Bye now. Sridevi, there?